Why everything feels like a chore lately. Have you ever looked at a simple task? Answering an email, doing the dishes, going to the grocery store, and thought, I'll do it later. Then later comes, and somehow it still feels impossible. Not because it's difficult, not because it takes a lot of time, but because even thinking about it feels exhausting. If you've been feeling this way lately, you're not alone. And contrary to what your inner critic might be telling you, this isn't necessarily laziness. In many cases, your brain is responding exactly the way it's designed to when it's overloaded. Let's talk about why everything suddenly feels like a chore. 1. Your brain wasn't designed for this much input. Think about how much information you consume in a single day. Notifications, messages, emails, news, videos, social media, ads, conversations, work tasks, personal responsibilities. Your brain is processing thousands of pieces of information almost constantly. The problem is that human brains evolved in a world that moved much slower, a world without endless notifications, competing for attention every few minutes. Today, many people are mentally working overtime without even realizing it. Thus, decision fatigue is real. Every day, you make hundreds of decisions. What to wear, what to eat, which message to answer, what task to prioritize, whether to spend or save money, whether to exercise, whether to rest. Each decision consumes a small amount of mental energy. Psychologists call this decision fatigue. As mental resources become depleted, even simple choices start feeling harder. Eventually, your brain starts looking for shortcuts. And one of the easiest shortcuts is postponing things. 3. Stress changes how your brain prioritizes tasks. When you're under chronic stress, your brain becomes less interested in long-term goals. Instead, it starts focusing on immediate relief. That's why scrolling social media feels easier than doing laundry. Watching videos feels easier than studying. Ordering takeout feels easier than cooking. Your brain isn't choosing what's best, it's choosing what's easiest. Because stressed brains prioritize energy conservation. 4. You might be emotionally exhausted, not physically tired. One of the most confusing experiences is feeling tired even after resting. You slept, you stayed home, you didn't do much physically, yet you're still exhausted. Why? Because not all exhaustion is physical. Emotional exhaustion happens when your mind spends too much time managing stress, uncertainty, worries, responsibilities, and unresolved emotions. And unlike physical fatigue, emotional fatigue doesn't always disappear after a good night's sleep. 5. Modern life keeps your brain in alert mode. Your nervous system was designed to handle occasional threats, not constant stimulation. But many people spend their entire day in a low-level state of alertness, checking notifications, responding to messages, watching upsetting news, comparing themselves to others online, monitoring work conversations, worrying about the future. Even when you're sitting still, your brain may be acting like it's constantly on duty, and eventually, that state becomes exhausting. 6. The hidden cost of multitasking. Many people pride themselves on multitasking, but research consistently shows that the brain isn't actually multitasking very well. Instead, it's rapidly switching attention between tasks. Every switch carries a mental cost. You answer a message, return to work, check social media, go back to work, open another tab, respond to another notification. By the end of the day, you've spent enormous amounts of energy simply switching gears. No wonder simple tasks feel harder. 7. Dopamine isn't what most people think. When people hear the word dopamine, they usually think about pleasure. But dopamine is also deeply connected to motivation. Your brain releases dopamine when it expects a reward. The problem is that modern technology offers rewards instantly. A video, a notification, a like, a massage. Compared to that, many real-life tasks provide delayed rewards. Cleaning your apartment feels less exciting than watching 10 short videos. Not because the videos are more valuable, because they're easier for your reward system to access. 8. Sometimes you're carrying more than you realize. Many people adapt to stress so gradually that they stop noticing it. They continue working, showing up, taking care of responsibilities, and from the outside, everything looks fine. But internally, their mental load keeps increasing. Financial concerns, relationship issues, family responsibilities, health worries, career pressure. Eventually, the weight becomes so heavy that even small tasks start feeling overwhelming. Not because the tasks changed, because the person carrying them did. 9. Why rest doesn't always feel restful. Here's another trap. Many of us spend our free time consuming content, and while that can feel relaxing, it's not always true recovery. Your brain may be entertained, but it's still processing information, still receiving stimulation, still staying active. Sometimes, what your nervous system actually needs is something much simpler. Silence, nature, movement, connection, sleep, moments where nothing is demanding your attention. 10. The way out is smaller than you think. When everything feels overwhelming, people often try to fix their entire life at once. New routine, new goals, new productivity system, massive life overhaul. But overloaded brains rarely respond well to big changes. Instead, focus on the smallest possible action. One email, one dish, 1 minute of exercise, one paragraph, one step. Momentum often returns gradually, not dramatically. The goal isn't to become productive overnight. The goal is to make movement feel possible again. 11. Stop calling yourself lazy. This may be the most important message in this video. When everything feels difficult, many people immediately blame themselves. I'm lazy. I'm undisciplined. What's wrong with me? But self-criticism rarely creates energy. In fact, it often makes things worse, because now you're carrying exhaustion and shame at the same time. Instead of asking, "Why am I so lazy?" try asking, "What is draining me right now?" The answers may surprise you. If everything has been feeling like a chore lately, take a breath. You may not be broken, you may not be failing, and you may not be lazy. You might simply be carrying more than your brain was designed to carry without rest. The good news is that motivation can return, energy can return, enjoyment can return. But it often starts with understanding what's happening beneath the surface. Because sometimes the problem isn't that you're doing too little, it's that you've been carrying too much for too long. And maybe it's time to give yourself permission to put some of that weight down.